selling to rich people is easier than selling to broke people.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
It's easier to make a lot of money at once than it is to make a little bit of money over a long period of time.
Retirement is not biblical. It is nowhere in the Bible that you stop working and just chill.
Yeah.
That's not biblical. All right, Brian, I made a lot of mistakes in 2025, like a lot.
Yeah.
We're going to count through many, many of them, and I know you have too.
Yeah.
What's one that stands out first?
For me, my biggest mistake was not understanding that I could hire someone that could run my business better than me. That was my biggest lesson. And that's a mistake because I've been in business for 10 years and it took me 10 years to figure out that one key hire can 5 to 10x my business.
Why would you think that? Like, why did it take this long to realize? Like, I told that to you for a long time.
Yeah.
I literally hired you
Yeah.
to go help me. And like, you saw your impact in what I was doing.
Yeah. I think, I don't know if I think it's confidence. I think being confident enough to make that decision to bring someone in to run a business is key. You have to believe that it's possible and you have to believe that you could do it. But I also think you just have to get out of your own way. So I was just like always in my own way, like, worrying about little levers, like, how do I get my cost per lead from 20 to 15? How do I get my salespeople to make, instead of 100K, 120K a month? Like, instead of focusing on those small things, this past year, I was like, I'm going to step out of the way. I'm going to give goals and expectations and then jump in when it breaks, not jump in when there's like problems.
Yeah, only when it's completely broken.
Exactly.
Not when it has a bad week.
Yeah.
Or a bad
So
day.
like a quick story, we had a salesperson that wasn't performing and it was like 3 months. And I didn't tell my COO to fire him. I was like, hey, so what do you think? Like, what do you think is happening? He was like, I think the leads are bad. And I was like, dang, you think the leads are bad? That's crazy. But like the other two people are performing, like, and I was only able to do this because it happened to me before. There was a year where me and you were working together and I was like, dude, I think the leads are bad. Like, and then we're like, hey, well, did the leads change from last month or did they change when this new salesperson came in? So
I remember that.
Yeah. So I learned that if you're going to build a leader, you have to let them make mistakes and you can't sit there and micromanage them. You have to let them learn. You put up guardrails so the business doesn't lose a ton of money, but you have to allow them to make mistakes, play out. Sometimes Justin has ideas and I'm like, that's not going to work, but let's just do it anyways.
Yeah.
So he can come to the conclusion and learn.
Yeah. Every time I go into a meeting, even if I have the answer, I don't ever say the answer.
Yeah.
Like, I just am like, hey, so what's going on? What's the problem? Well, these are okay, well, I can see the problem. So what are we going to do about it? And then kind of like let people figure out their own solutions.
Yeah.
And if, I can like kind of guide them in the right direction, or if it's completely off base, then it's like, no, this is what we need to do.
Yeah.
But in a lot of times, if you let them figure it out, they feel empowered. They have to like actually go through a decision-making process.
Yeah.
And problem solve. And so I think it's really, really important.
Yeah. You pretty much have to let the leader treat the business like it's theirs.
Right.
You have to allow them that grace to make mistakes and to reap the rewards when they make a good decision. And I think watching it happen this year, it sucks that I could have done this earlier, but now it gives me the confidence that I feel like I could open multiple businesses and watch them grow if I hire or work with the right leader.
Right. I'd say for me, one of the main problems that I realized this year was that I was just accepting low standards.
Yeah.
Like, it's so crazy in hindsight to think about it, but like, if I look at the things that did good and the things that did bad, the things that did bad, I just kind of let it go bad. I'm just like, whatever. Like, for example, I've talked about this, but like my social media, has been my worst social media year in like the last 4 years in terms of like views and watch time and other stuff, right? And granted, part of my mind is like, well, it's still better than most.
Yeah. You're still like the top real estate investor online.
Thank you, dude.
Yeah,
that means a lot. But it was still like, dude, we performed way worse than we did last year and the year before that. And we're on this downward trend. This does not end well. And I kind of just let the team I'm the opposite of you.
Yeah.
Right? Like I've always been very hands off. I'm like, hey, figure it out.
Yeah.
Figure it out. And then when they don't figure it out, then it's like, now I come in like really late.
Yeah.
And now I'm making changes. And it usually happens at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Or the end of the quarter. Cause I look at it all and I'm like, well, this is trash. You didn't figure it out. Changes have to be made. We can't even do little things properly. And so, like I tolerated very low standards. And part of it too was not even having a standard. Right? Because when you're doing well, especially in business and anything, compared to most people, your standard is like most people, not your own standard. And it's like, well, I don't really care that we do better than most people. We're doing worse than we did before.
Yeah.
And we're not even close to doing what we could be doing because you guys have settled for just being where we're at. And I personally have settled too, or else if I really wanted it that bad, I would have made changes.
Yeah.
A long time ago. So I look in the mirror on that, but like I tolerated low standards with that. I tolerated low standards with salespeople. We talked about this on a previous episode, but I can go deeper. Like I looked at all the stuff at the end of the year and I saw that certain salespeople just vastly outperformed with the same leads. Back to the lead thing. Like it's like the same exact leads. This guy killed it 3 times better than the next guy and 10 times better than like a bad guy.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, is this guy just unique? He's just the best salesperson ever and we can't ever find anyone else this good? Or is it like we just tolerate bad sales and, it is what it is. And the answer is we just tolerate bad performance.
Yeah.
The answer should be, hey, all right, cool. This guy's the standard. Let's only accept people at this level. And you know what probably happened to that guy? He'd probably get better too.
Yeah.
Right? Because iron sharpens iron. And for me, it's just like I looked at it and once again, right? You're making money, things are going well compared to other people. And I look at it and I'm like, I'm pissed at myself because, I was talking to Javi about it and I go, hey, if we would have had only this level of salesperson handling our leads, what would the difference have been this year? Spending no extra money on leads, no extra money on overhead, nothing. What would have happened had we had this great of a salesperson on these leads every single time? It would have been millions. And that's literally millions to the bottom line minus a commission.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, literally cost us millions tolerating this. And then, if you raise your standard in this other area, we get more leads and higher quality organic and everything else. Then that's another millions, who knows, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm just kind of mad at myself for accepting low standards just because things are going well compared to other people.
Yeah.
It's not good to compare yourself to other people.
Yeah. I think you told me this a few years ago. I don't remember the exact quote, but it was like, success will hide mistakes.
Yeah.
So you're having some success, so it hides all the stuff that's not going well. Instead of like going, like I remember Trump was talking about when he would buy buildings or inspect buildings, he wouldn't go to the main area. He would go to the closets. He would go to like where, they're storing things to see if that's organized and clean. That's a reflection of like what's going on. Of course, the main area is going to be nice.
Yeah.
But like, are you going to the areas that aren't public and are those clean?
Yeah. You think Zorhan or whatever his name is going to do the same thing?
No. Zoram? Yeah. I don't know what he's going to do. He would probably just like bankrupt the hotel.
He's going to go in the main area.
Yeah. He's going to go in the main area, complain about it, get it.
Slap a lien on it.
Yeah. Yeah. The freaking government will take over it. But yeah, no, I think I've learned that lesson already, that what you put up with is a key indicator of the success of the business. So if you put up with like with my COO, I was like, bro, like, why aren't these people here? Like a couple days ago, I was like, why aren't they here? He's like, well, the holidays. I was like, Christmas is one day.
Yeah.
Like, they're not here the 26th, the 27th, the 28th.
Yeah.
And they just started. and then in January, they're going to complain that it's slow. It's like, dude, like, we got to like, is our standard, like, are they here on time? Are they dressed appropriately? Are they meeting the KPIs? We just did their goals the other day. And one of our salespeople, he had a goal. He wanted to produce 1.2. I was like, okay, like, I'm really glad you want to produce 1.2. That's great. Let's look at your call metrics. Okay, you want to do 20 contacts a day. Well, our top guy that did 800 is doing 50 contacts a day. How are you going to double or almost double his revenue doing half?
Yeah.
So just looking at the true metrics, looking at what's happening and calling it out.
Hey, if you're looking to get started in real estate investing, then you need to use our Cashflow 2.0 system. We give you all the motivated seller leads. We give you software, one-on-one coaching, and everything you need to start your real estate investing business. And we've seen so much success from our students with this system that we are willing to guarantee it. So if you want to learn how it all works and how you can get your first real estate deal today, go on over to wealthyinvestor.com and apply. Someone from our team will get with you, and you could have your first deal within a week once you get on this system. So head on over to wealthyinvestor.com and we'll see you there.
Calling it out.
We literally had that conversation on the social media side. So I looked at our downward trend and I said, hey, our best year, let's look at some metrics to see what changed.
Mm-hmm.
And, me being in business, like, I'm always a volume guy. It's usually effort changes.
Yeah.
Is why people don't get what they want.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, man, I'm curious. Let's see how many videos we put out on YouTube this year versus 2023.
Mm-hmm.
It was literally half. And I go, I didn't change my effort level. So what happened?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what happened was everybody got on a salary. So there was no incentives basically to produce massive amounts of videos and to repurpose videos and to post. Because I remember there would be times where we didn't put a video out for a week. And I go, I've never had it in my career where we didn't put out a video. What happened? Oh, well, this happened, that happened. And I said, well, your salary's gone.
Mm-hmm.
You can't obviously put out the production that's needed when you're not incentivized properly. And that's like another thing I learned too, is that you cannot reward the wrong things. You have to incentivize people the right way.
Yeah.
And so I changed literally everyone's pay at the top level, especially to have some form of incentive.
Yeah.
Like, from a salesperson standpoint, it's obvious. Most people are commission only.
Yeah.
So it's like, bro, if you don't perform, you suck. Like you ain't going to eat.
Yeah.
But, when you're a high paying position in management and you're on a salary, a lot of times you're just not like incentivized for growth in that way. And that's my fault. I take that on me for not providing that level of incentive.
Yeah.
And then I looked back at 23 and I said, man, back then we had lots of editors and they were all fighting for the next video because they got paid per video.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this other way clearly don't work.
Yeah.
Got to get back to competing. And I've always said that, back being a baseball guy and an athlete, people have to compete.
Yeah.
There has to be a target. There has to be a standard. If you don't hit them, you're out.
Yeah.
And it's not cutthroat. It's just life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're not a good husband and you don't hit the standard, you're probably going to end up divorced.
Yeah.
If you don't hit this standard as a dad, guess what? You're a deadbeat.
Mm-hmm.
It just is what it is. If you have this percentage of body fat, you're objectively fat.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, there's nothing to it. It's not mean. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm like, okay, here's your new standards. And you get paid when you hit these standards.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't hit these standards, you don't have a job.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love you either way, but you can't, this is what it is.
Yeah. So how would you explain that as like a lesson for the year?
I mean, it's one of the key things. I got a bunch of lessons that I've written down here, but yeah, I mean, like, it's just, I personally will no longer accept low standards.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, your guys, you're like, hey, their goal is to do 800K
a
year, right? So that's $200K a quarter.
Yeah.
What happens if they're not on pace? At what point will you cut that person?
Yeah.
Like, what if they hit 180? My guess is you'd obviously still keep them, right?
Yeah.
But what if they only hit 50K in a quarter?
Have to go? Yeah, I would fire them.
You will fire them.
Yeah. So our standard.
What happens if they've had great production for a while and then they had a bad quarter? Will you cut them some grace in that case?
So,
because that's my problem. I've had sales guys and different people who've been around for a while.
Yeah.
And their standards have fallen.
Yeah. I don't know about that, but I know in my personal business right now, we know that our salespeople, they get a 60-day run rate. So they get 60 days to produce.
Now, I'm not talking a new guy.
Yeah.
A new guy's a different story.
Yeah.
Right? You'll have different. I'm saying you have an established guy who's been good before.
Yeah.
Let's say they have a 50K quarter. What are you doing?
I have to, in my business, I have to let them go or figure out if I can make them into a different role, because then I know there's a cost of opportunity.
Yeah.
So like for me, the cost of opportunity is too high to let that happen. So yeah.
So basically, no matter how they've performed in the past, if they have one bad quarter, they are moving positions.
I would say one bad quarter, we could like try to readjust. But I mean, a quarter is a long time. That's a quarter of a year. So that is a very long time. So I would say one bad quarter and a half, we're going to have to like, honestly, one bad quarter wouldn't happen for me, especially for salespeople.
Because you're going to get them in that first month.
Yes.
And you're going to be like, yo,
yeah,
you didn't close anything.
Yeah. But because we have salespeople that are producing 100K a month. So if they're producing 20K or 15K, it just wouldn't even happen. Honestly, in our business right now, it just wouldn't even happen. So,
because they're not going to fit the culture, the standard.
Yeah. And I just wouldn't allow it because literally it just wouldn't make sense. It financially wouldn't make sense.
But I'm just saying, like, I get that the new person's clearly not going to make it. But like, people have bad months, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, but a quarter's a long time.
Yeah, exactly. A quarter's a long time. We've had great salespeople have bad months. And sometimes it's like deals fall apart, deals get pushed, all that stuff. Yeah. You know, people are sick, people go on vacations, a bunch of holidays.
I guess my point is, and I'm just like basically saying it for anyone listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a quarter's a long time.
Yeah, it is.
I agree.
Every quarter matters in a year.
And this is kind of where my thing is. I've been looking at this on like a 12-month thing.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, hey, dude, you guys really sucked this year.
Yeah.
But I should have been looking at this by quarters.
Yeah.
And being like, you know, like, if we don't hit these numbers this quarter, can't be here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's just the reality of it.
Yeah. I think so. For me, one thing that I did good this year with everyone we hired is I set expectations super well. Like I would literally be like, all right, Ryan. So our closers, they bring in $100,000 a month. Does that make sense to you? Yeah. Okay, cool. Just so you know, Ryan, the way I run this business is,
and by the way, just for the viewers, when you say $100,000 a month, you're talking revenue to the business, not
cash collected.
What they make.
Yeah, not what they made. That's cash collected
to the business,
to the company.
Yep.
So I'll say, hey, Ryan, you know, we do $100K a month. Does that make sense to you? Do you understand that? Yes. Okay, perfect. Just so you know, I say this on every single interview. This is not Keller Williams. Just so you know, we do real estate, but this is not Keller Williams. Keller Williams has 12,000 agents and like
they also
200 agents produce. This is like everyone produces. Everyone has high standards. This is not like you're not going to be able to hide in the meetings. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Got it. I just want to make sure you understand that because I don't want you to come in and feel uncomfortable. Okay. And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, cool. And then I literally do this. I write it on the board. I'm like, hey, 100K, you have 60 days. It's funny, but I'm serious. You have 60 days to get a contract a week. Does that make sense? That means every 7 days you get a contract, right? And yeah, like maybe you might have a week where it's 0 and then next week that it's 2, but the standard is you get $100,000.
Yeah.
And you know, it usually breaks down to a $30,000 fee. Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more. That's like the average. Okay. Got it. Okay. To do that, you need to do this. And I reverse engineer it.
And you're like, half your contracts aren't going to work.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, hey, like the first few months, you're going to get stuff. It's going to fall out.
Yeah.
It's okay. Like that's the process. But now we write it out, we explain it to them, we tell them, because if it's after the first 60 days, if there's nothing, we're like, hey, like, unfortunately, we have to let you go. Not because I don't like you, but because there's a cost of opportunity. If the guy next to you is producing 100,000 and you produce 20,000, we didn't make 20,000. We lost 80,000.
Yep.
So that comes down to just
you didn't make me 20K.
Yeah, you actually lost me. Yeah, you actually lost the company money.
Yeah.
So that's a problem. So it doesn't matter your sex, your race, if I like you, if I don't like you. Like our salesperson that passed away this year, honestly, me and him would butt heads all the time because he was just a different personality, but we still loved him and kept him because he produced. So I think it's just setting a lesson to piggyback off what you said is just setting such clear expectations that there's no ambiguity to what good looks like and what bad looks like.
Well, and also too, clearly defining the rewards for each.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, if you hit this standard, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah. You're going to make this much.
Yeah.
And you said you wanted to make this much.
And you'll get this bonus. You get that thing.
Yeah.
That's if you hit this standard or above and beyond. But if you hit this, if you don't hit that, this is the consequence.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So
how do you think about that with stress, right? Because a lot of people be like, dude, that sounds like a high stress environment.
I would say it's not. If there's proof of concept.
Right.
If it's like, hey, bro, these two other guys, they're crushing it. He just bought a house. He just bought a car. They're doing great. It's easier when there's like proof of concept. It would be hard.
A Lambo.
Yeah. For else, yeah. Like, so if there's proof of concept, it's easier. Right. I get it would be hard if you're starting off with one person.
Yeah.
You're going to have to, it gets extremely hard in the beginking, but once you see good, then it's easier to make that the standard because there's no unicorn salespeople. There's 350 million people. Like we need 5 good salespeople in our company, right? We don't need 20,000 good salespeople. So I would say just clearly setting expectations from the very beginning helps everything else.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. I mean, it's all part of the same thing, just setting new standards.
Yeah.
Another mistake I realized I made, it's interesting. I've gone back and forth on this, and I think I'm gonna assume this quote is correct. They say like a smart person is willing to change their mind. Like a dumb person will just stay set in their way. Like
insanity is doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, like a smart person will be like, "Hey, I was wrong."
Yeah.
The moment I have new information, I will change my belief system. Right.
Yeah.
So I change my belief systems a lot, and some could call it flip flopping. I call it being smart. Whatever, right?
Yeah.
So
at least that's what I tell my wife.
That's what I tell my wife. She may not tell that to me, but I say that. I'm like, no, this is smart. This is what I heard this on Instagram.
Yeah.
So one thing I used to do, right? And you know this, I started off, I've always just been an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I don't even think I'm a real estate investor. Like I just am a freaking make money kind of guy.
Yeah.
I like anything and everything that can make money.
Yes.
So, house flipping just was always a thing for me. I'm just like, whatever, dude, it makes money. I'm not like, it's just a thing.
Yeah.
Flipping couches, it's a thing.
Yeah.
Social media's a thing. Education's a thing. Now, I get fulfillment out of the results those things bring.
Yeah.
Helping people's fulfilling, throwing the events is fulfilling, making money is fulfilling. They're all fulfilling, but the vehicle I'm indifferent on. Except M19. Because when I get to golf and make money, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when I first got started on social media and stuff, I had like 1 million businesses, and that's what people knew me for, along with real estate.
Yeah.
And it was great. Made a ton of money. Then a bunch of businesses imploded. And so then I was like, maybe these guys are right. You should just focus on one thing. Maybe I was wrong.
Yeah.
Right. So then I spent the last couple of years just only focusing on real estate stuff. All right. And, granted, it was still like multiple verticals of real estate, but it was like, hey, I got my wholesaling business, and then we got our real estate education and lead generate, but they're all real estate.
Yeah.
I basically gave up everything outside of real estate.
Yeah.
And boy, was it boring. And it just is what it is, right? And it's what I had to do to get through the storm and, learn lessons. Fast forward, 2025 happens. I get the idea for M19, the golf mastermind. And, finally I just say the heck with it. I'm going back into the fray.
Yeah.
Of like multiple things.
Mm-hmm.
And it just murders it.
Yeah.
Even better than real estate.
It made your year pretty much.
I mean, it didn't make the other stuff was still good, but like, as I project out, I think it surpasses the other stuff. And it's just way funner, way more enjoyable. Everything about it's just objectively better, right? And it's opened the door to now, we have hundreds of members and they all have different businesses and opportunities. And I'm hearing about every Friday, they come to the office for this mastermind and I'm hearing about their businesses and the money and the I'm like, getting my itch again. I'm like, dude, all right, tell me about it.
I'll start some stuff.
Yeah, like tell me, dude, I'm 1 for 1.
Yeah.
Why not 2 for 2?
Yeah.
Why not 10 for 10? Like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
And so like all these opportunities keep arising, right? And long story short, it got me thinking about it multiple ways. Like the most money I ever made was when I had lots of things going on. And what I built for when I had lots of things going on was this parent company, Pineda Co. So now, CFO, marketing team, Javi, and all this stuff, right? And it makes sense when there's lots of verticals and they're feeding lots of verticals. And then when you only go to one vertical, it's like you don't really need this massive overhead of a parent co. And I started to just think through all of that because as we launch this and that, is like, really the only time this makes sense in the grand reality of it is if there are lots of things going on. And we could handle lots of things at this point. We could do sales and marketing for different companies. We've clearly sold and marketed lots of different products, lots of different offers over the years. And quite frankly, even when I look at the ones that didn't work out, it was more so because they're trend-based than anything. It's not that like operations sucked or it's just like, it's over. And now I look at it and I'm like, okay, I could easily use this parent co for golf. I could definitely use it for things like insurance and tax and title and escrow and, other guys who are in coaching and education because they don't know sales and marketing and funnels the way we do. We could easily run theirs for them and, be a publisher. I don't even have to be the face. I don't have to do any of that. And now it starts to subsidize that cost and everything else. So anyways, and I get more fulfillment out of actually having these chaos and lots of different, like I get intellectually stimulated going through problems and figuring out what's the way to optimize it. And then I like to just leave. Yeah. And let the team run it. That's kind of my style. So I don't know, like I think a big mistake for me now in hindsight is that at first I thought it was very easy to manage lots of businesses. And anything I touch could turn to gold. Which to a degree, if you only judge it based on like launching, true. But can you have longevity is a different thing, right? Then I said, man, okay, the guys were right. I got to focus on one thing. And then I'm like, actually, it's not like for me. I don't want to do that. And my current business doesn't even function that way, Then I look at it now and I'm like, the truth is somewhere in between. If I want to have this parent co with all these talented people, we do need to have different things for it to work on. And I get more fulfillment doing it that way. And I just think that opportunities are endless for me to now like partner with people and stuff.
Yeah. I think for you have a unique personality, or it might be how most people are, where you don't like to do one thing over and over and over again. Some people like that. Some people like stability. They like repetition. They like going in at a certain time, doing the exact same thing, going home at the same time.
More certainty.
Yeah, more certainty. And you're also unique in the sense where you don't find identity in what you do, where most people, what they do becomes their identity. Like if you go to most realtors and say, hey, like you can't do real estate anymore, you got to do something else. They wouldn't know what to do. No, seriously, they literally wouldn't know what to do. Most people's identities are wrapped into their career and yours is not.
Right.
So you're a little bit unique in that sense.
Yeah. What got me thinking about it actually is kind of that thought process. So a decade ago, when I started flipping houses, I was flipping couches before, which was definitely not my identity. I am the couch flipper, dude. But I remember I started flipping houses and I was like, well, what's the worst that could happen? What if this doesn't work out?
Yeah.
And I thought about it and I go, well, I would just flip couches again.
Yeah.
Like it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've already had my dream not work out. I was playing baseball and it didn't work.
Yeah.
And I found something else. Right.
Yeah.
So I wasn't concerned about that.
Mm-hmm.
So then I flip houses and it goes really well. So then I start doing the social media thing.
Yeah.
And the education thing. I go, what would happen if this doesn't work out? How long am I going to give this before I decide whether or not it's viable?
Yeah.
I said, well, I would just go back to flipping houses. And well, I kept doing it, but I was like, I'll just always have this. I'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then I started thinking again now this year, and I was like, what would happen if I stopped basically being online? Like personal brand wise, like what would happen if I just decided, you know what? I don't want to make content anymore.
That'd be crazy.
I know, but I wanted to run through the exercise. What would happen if that happened? Or what would happen if, for some reason I just got into so much drama that I personally couldn't sell anymore as Ryan Pineda, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I've actually already been through like a million things. I'm like, I don't think that's matters at this point. But let's just say that those two things were true. I could no longer be on social media anymore for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what would I do to provide for my family? And it got me really thinking. And this is, by the way, for people listening, a good exercise to do. Because whenever you can add constraints to yourself, it makes you more innovative. So I started thinking, I was like, what would I do if I could not be on social media anymore with my face? And I was like, well, clearly, I mean, obviously I could go back to real estate.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, but that's so boring.
Yeah.
I was like, I ain't going to do that. Like it will be a thing.
Yeah.
And when I say go back, like my real estate business is still running and good.
Yeah.
But I mean like go back in terms of my effort and time are just focused only on that. Right. I was like, honestly, the most valuable skill set that I have at this point is building offers, marketing strategies, funnels, and teams. Like that skill is so valuable and very few people possess it. And I was like, yeah, what I would probably do is just go partner up with other businesses and go build out their sales team, their offers, their marketing, everything. Use my track record as obviously the proof.
Yeah.
And go partner up with all these businesses and businesses and just normal everyday things like insurance and all this other stuff. And then it just dawned on me. I was like, why am I not doing that right now? Like, it doesn't make any sense why I wouldn't just do that today. And not only then does it solve my problem of this massive overhead of the parent company, but it also kind of like diversifies me.
Yeah.
If anything happens to Ryan.
Yep. There's a thing that's going around right now. I don't know if it's Dan Martell or Alex Hermosi that said like your side hustle could make you rich. So it's like you have your main thing, your thing that brings in the daily bread, but then at the same time you work on stuff that could like blow you up.
Right.
And that's kind of what you're talking about. You have your real estate company that's never stopped. That's like your
it's just always
you're
been
flipping.
Going. Yeah.
Your education company, it's already going. You're not on all the Zoom calls. You're not fulfilling it. But then can you start other things that will supersede everything else? And that's where most people, they don't.
That's what M19 was. It was a side hustle.
Exactly.
And now it's like, bro, this is about to be like the main thing.
How much did M19 bring in this year?
In 5 months, we got close to 2 million.
Dang. So, but
best ROASes, profits, everything.
But that's what I'm saying. In my opinion, it made your year. Because if you take that 200K out or 2 million out, would you have been happy with 2025?
No.
Yeah. So it made your year. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it not only in terms of like the money it made this year, but like, I guess when it makes my year, I think about the long-term effect of it.
Yeah.
Because what was the long-term effect of starting this new endeavor? Yeah, it made the money, but it wasn't the most money I made. The other businesses made more than that.
Yeah.
But it was the foundation it set forth in that I think as a business, it will be the biggest, not next year even, but in the years to come. Because I can just see its recurring revenue, its growth, all its opportunities, whatever. And then more so the biggest thing of this new realization of like, hey, it's okay to go back to starting new things and working on other things again.
Yeah.
And part of that came from starting this and then listening to the other businesses and what the guys are doing.
Yeah. So sometimes I disagree with Alex Hermosi because he has the quote, more, better, new. First do more of something, then figure out how to do better. Last thing is to come up with something new. A lot of people need something new. A lot of people find their identity in what they do and it's not performing and they need to get rid of it and start something new. And that's what you did this year with M19.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've never heard him say that, but it's interesting because I do think if you've been doing something for a really long time and it's just not working, something new is probably better.
Yeah.
I just don't agree with people who start a new thing and they're like, oh, it's not working.
Yeah.
And they just quit and they think it's like, no, you just suck.
No. But I think first let's define what is success. So what is success, would you say? What is success in business?
To me or to them?
Let's just label what is success. I would say success in a business is if you make at least
you turn
$500K.
You make more money than you spend.
That's why we have to define what is success because everyone's definition.
I mean, I have money, so I would have been like, bro, we broke even.
That was good. Yeah. I would say, let's say $500K net to you is success.
I would say that for most people, that would be a massive success.
Yeah. So let's just define it as that.
Yeah.
If people aren't making at least $500K and they own a business, they really have a high-paying job, and they probably need to figure out if they're already doing more.
I think most people who make $500K also probably just own a high-paying job.
Yeah,
I don't think there's very many people where they net $500K and they're completely like that. They don't do nothing.
Yeah,
there's not many people.
There's not. No, but the point is, if you're not making at least $500K in your business, you probably need to do something new. And if you're in a vehicle that can't reach that, then you definitely need to do something new.
Do you really think that though? Like, okay, you used a realtor, for example. So you have a realtor who's making, whatever, $100K.
Yeah.
Right. Which isn't even most realtors, but they are. Right.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, until you make $500K, you're not like a legit realtor.
Yeah.
You think they should do something new or they should just like actually become a better realtor?
I would say it depends on the person because what it takes to get to 500K is you need to be like literally the top 1% realtor.
True.
Yeah.
But I mean, making $500K period makes you a top 1% person in any field.
Yeah.
So
but you got to pick the field that you're willing to do that in. Like I would not
some people just don't even care about making $500K. So that's the thing too.
Yeah. So I guess, like I said, it depends on what you call success.
Right.
But for us, I'm pretty sure if someone netted $500K, that's a pretty successful business. That's a good business.
I agree.
So you got to figure out, is the vehicle you're in able to get you there? And if you got there, are you going to be willing to sustain that level of work?
I think pretty much any vehicle can make $500K. You could have made $500K flipping couches. I know people who have.
Really?
Yeah.
$500K?
Dude, there are people after my video years ago who built multi-million-dollar couch flipping operations.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I don't think the vehicle, when you're talking about $500K, I think, I know. Yeah. I think almost any vehicle. I can't name one vehicle that I don't think couldn't get there, to be honest.
I think there's some vehicles that are easier than others.
It depends on your location, your skill.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
All those variables matter. So you might be if you're in a small town and you're trying to be a realtor, it's going to be hard. There's just not any houses to sell.
Yeah.
But it's hard to make money in a small town in anything.
Yeah.
Like you pretty much kind of got to leave
the
small town or go digital with a digital business.
Okay. You know what? That great transition to another lesson I learned this year. And I learned it from Myron, and I swear it's true.
Myron Golden or
Myron
Gaines?
Golden.
Okay.
Yeah. Gaines the controversial guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, not him. I learned nothing from that guy ever. So
they're both my friend.
They're both your friends, but one of them's crazy. It's easier to make a lot of money at once than it is to make a little bit of money over a long period of time.
I agree with that.
I thought the opposite. I was like, well, if I make $10,000 a month, that's easy. I could do that. It's easier to make $100,000 at once than it is to make $10,000 a month for 10 months. I learned that this year, and I hope that in the future I made a goal to myself that I want to do something that makes me $1 million in one transaction.
So it's a big real estate deal for you.
It's going to have to be a big real estate deal, or I launch something that makes $1 million or something like that. But I think that most people are playing too small. They're like, well, like I got to put my buddy Voice of Reason on blast. I love Voice of Reason, right? So Voice of Reason has a Patreon, right? If you're not subscribed to it, go check it out, right? He was like,
actually,
hey,
check it out after he raises the price.
Yeah. Check it out after he raises the price, or buy his highest tier, which is $25. Well, he was like, dude, we're gonna have a Patreon, and we're gonna charge $5.
You're like,
I'm like, bro, $5? I'm like, bro, like, what if you get 100 people? How much is that? That's $500.
It's so hard to get 100 people,
bro. Yes.
And
like literally,
those people churn out higher too.
I know, but that's how the average person thinks. They're like, I should just get a bunch of people to pay me a little bit. No, try to get one person
to pay you $500.
To pay you, not even $500.
No, but in this case,
$1,000. Like literally, I told him that. I was like, bro, like, we'll keep that as separate. But I was like, bro. But most people think
he
that.
Could go get paid to speak on stage for $5,000.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? You know what else made me think about this? When I lived in Louisville, Kentucky for 2 months, right? No, think about this.
Okay.
Think about this, Ryan.
Where's this going in the Midwest?
Oh, this is going to blow some people's minds. In the Midwest, people are flipping houses for $5,000.
I flipped them.
Yeah.
I've wholesaled them.
Yeah. What if those same people marketed in California, where the average flip profit is $50,000? You're doing the same exact activity, but in a different market to make more.
Yeah.
So instead of like, hey, let me scale up, I sat down with these wholesalers, and I was like, I didn't tell them that, but I'm like, because I didn't want to produce competition for myself. But I was like, guy, instead of like trying to get to 5 deals a month, why don't you just go to Cali and do 1, or Arizona, or Las Vegas? So
they're like, are you crazy?
Yeah, they're like, dude, it's a liberal cesspool over there. I'm like, yeah, it's so bad.
Gavin Newsom won't even let you do a deal.
Yeah, exactly. But it's serious. It's like most people, if they were to take a step back, they could probably make more instead of just trying to do more volume.
Yeah.
That was a huge lesson of this year, for sure. For me, that was huge.
I think something along the same line, I'll give 2 points on that. Some along the same lines is that selling to rich people is easier than selling to broke people.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
Yeah.
Like back to the golf thing. You know, you got to be doing over 7 figures in your business to join this.
Yeah.
Bro, everybody's like, oh, it's 10 grand. Okay. like
that's good. That's fair. Yeah.
No, they're like, yeah. No, they're not like, that's fair.
Yeah.
They're like, wait, like a month or what?
Yeah.
That's literally what they say. They're like, so how often?
Yeah.
Like, no, it's just like for the year.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, okay. Like, all right, here it is.
Yeah.
There's no negotiating. There's no haggling. There's no payment plans.
Yeah. They're like, I'll pay 8.
No, that never happens. Right. But, back to, the $5 Patreon. We used to have a $97 a month thing, dude. Yeah. I'm like, bro, this is going to be like the craziest value ever. It's $97 a month.
Yeah.
People are going to get all this value. They're going to love it. Bro, the churn, the chargebacks, everything was insane.
Yeah.
And they were getting more value for $97 than exist in humanity.
Yep.
It's just the type of people you sell to.
Yeah.
Right. So like that's one aspect of it. The second aspect, Myron told me this, and it's kind of along the same lines. He goes, hey, do you know, like, he said it on my pod. He's like, do you know all the ways to make like $1 million in business?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, no. You make $1 million.
Yeah.
Sell enough to make $1 million.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, but like what to sell? And he goes, there's this, I forgot what he called it. Somebody else told me it too. It's like the 10-10-10 rule or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you could sell 10 people $100,000 thing.
Yeah.
You could sell, 100 people a $10,000 thing. You could sell 1,000 people $1,000 thing.
Yeah.
Right. And it just keeps,
you
could sell 100,000 people a $10 thing.
Yeah.
Which one is easier?
Yeah.
And for a lot of people, right? I mean, you'll figure out where your product line is, but the other part of it, it's just easier to get less people to pay you more.
Yeah.
But the other part of it too is he goes, even like if you wanted to double your business, you would just add one of those product lines. So let's just say you had $1 million business and you had 1,000 people who were, paid you $1,000. Okay, you had $1 million business. So out of those 1,000 people who've already paid you $1,000, I bet there's at least 10 of them that would pay you 100.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's literally less than 1%. Or no, that's 1%.
Mm-hmm.
There's 1% in there who are like, they just killed it. They loved it.
Yeah.
They do more, right? Or get 10% of them to pay you $10,000.
Yeah.
That's also 100% there with those people. So it's just like a different way of looking at it.
Yeah. Yeah. But that was one of my biggest lessons this year. It's easier to make a lot of money at once than it is to make a little money over a long period of time.
Yeah. I think on a personal note, for me anyways, one of the lessons that I'm implementing next year is getting back to doing family vacations. And I know you can have this realization too. Back before we had a lot of kids, we would go on more vacations. And then it's like, Mindy's been pregnant like every year. Every year she's either pregnant or we got a newborn. And so, you know, traveling does get hard. But I was just thinking about it as I reflect on the year. I'm like, yeah, you know, we went on like a couple family vacations, but we used to always say, hey, once a quarter, we're going on like some kind of vacation.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't hit that goal in the last couple of years because just all the different things, business, pregnancies, and all this stuff. And I'm like, I'm looking at like, I don't know if you have this on your iPhone, but like there's this memory photo thing.
Yeah.
Do you have that? Do you have that on your home screen?
No.
I recommend everyone put this on their home screen. And look at this. It's literally showing me one right now. So it literally just takes memories. The AI just knows what to show you.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, it shows me all of my trips. Mm-hmm. And so like this is a 2023 trip that we went to the Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
One of our favorite trips ever. Every time I see the pictures, I'm like, dude, that was such a fun trip.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I regret not doing what it takes to just go on those trips.
Yeah.
Even if it's inconvenient or
yeah.
whatever, because like, dude, we're never going to get those memories again.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's like, if we keep on planning to have kids, like it ain't going to get any easier to have trips.
Yeah.
Especially as you have more kids. So it's like, we just have to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So like this year, for people that don't know, I went on, it wasn't a vacation because it was a sad thing, but I left my business for 2 months. Like I was gone for 2 months. And not only was I gone, but I was in a completely different time zone. So like when you're in a different time zone than your normal business, it's super hard to like keep track of what's going on. And it was one of the best years of my life because you're just forced to see if the business is going to grow. You're going to force to see how strong your systems are. And luckily our systems were strong and we had our biggest month ever while I was gone. Ever. We made it was actually like $400,000 in a month. And I wasn't even there. And I wasn't in the time zone. I wasn't on the meetings.
Yeah.
I was literally attending to my wife's dad and I had the kids because Jessica was helping her dad. And it was awesome. Like the situation was sad, obviously, but I think God helped me learn this lesson where I'm like, dude, like, am I going to live 20 to 30 years before I start like taking long breaks? Like, am I going to wait till retirement to take 2 months off?
Yeah.
Like, is that what the plan is? So this year in 2026, we want to do at least a month where I'm not here.
Like consecutive?
No, straight.
Yeah.
Like
consecutive.
Like a whole month where we're rather in California or we're in Louisville or we just pick somewhere. Cause I was even thinking about going to like Idaho or like staying in a farmhouse for like a month.
Yeah.
And
pick
just
something better than Louisville.
Yeah. Louisville was sick, but like you learn and you grow and you see things. You're like, dude, Louisville was not bad. Like Louisville was 2 hours from Indianapolis, 3.5 hours from Chicago, an hour and a half from Nashville. It was like literally so close. Like every weekend we would go to a different city and like experiencing.
He said, dude, Louisville's not bad. Like I could leave it.
Yeah, you can leave. It's so easy. And then I learned about Chicago.
Bad, dude, I was never there.
Yeah. Like I learned about Chicago. Like Chicago was sick. So I think that was one of my biggest lessons this year. Is just like take an extended leave. And like if you can't leave for a month, leave for a week.
Right.
Don't leave for 2 days.
Yeah.
Leave for a week, leave for 2 weeks. I think it's huge.
I kind of get bored after a week. I like the week every quarter for me.
Yeah.
Like I like you're like, I want to go for a month.
Yeah.
And just check out. I'm like, I want to like go for a week, then a week, then a week, and a week. That's kind of how I'm thinking.
Yeah. Well, I think I would be interested if you left for a month, but you still like kind of worked.
Yeah.
Or like for you, obviously, if you went to California, let's just say for a month, you stayed in Malibu for a month. Like there's enough for you to do over there where there's enough people to meet and do and podcast and all that stuff where you're not going to.
I mean, I would just play golf.
Yeah, exactly. And golf and like you just see.
Well, I kind of like now with M19, we have 8 trips next year.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I was already doing the math. I'm like, okay, that's 4 days. So I'm going to be gone 32 days.
Yeah.
On golf trips.
Yeah. But that's kind of like work.
I guess.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. But
no, I mean, you're right. It is to fulfill work, but like I'm still just gone.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Like I'm not doing any other work. I'm golfing.
Yeah. But that was one of my biggest lessons this year. It's like take an extended amount of time off to test your business and to just live life. Cause it's like, people are always like, oh, like if I made $1 million or whatever, $100 million, would I still work? After this trip, my answer was no. Like, actually, I wouldn't work. I would literally just live life. I would find things to do to feel productive, like ministry or taking care of my kids. Like, literally, I was like, Jessica was at home when I took the kids to Chicago, St. Louis, Kansas City, Denver. I had all the kids by myself. And I was like, bro, this is sick. Like, I could take my boys. I could have a boys trip where I just take my boys out and go to baseball games and go fishing and all this stuff. But anyways, that was like one of my big lessons. That
my kind of thing is like, for me anyways, I feel like I do all that all the time anyways.
Yeah.
Like
you do everything rushed. I like to do things slow. You're like, bam, bam, bam. Like, go here, go here, go here.
Let's do that. Let's do that. But I guess like I'm getting at like, it's new for you to like go on all these trips. And different stuff. Like for me, I mean, I spent my whole life traveling all those places in baseball.
Yeah. You've experienced
like
that
I did it my entire 20s. And then like, even now it's like, oh dude, I mean, I'll take the kids to this and that and this. And then we go travel to, Dominican and whatever. I just want to do more of it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I would feel about like leaving for a month.
I think it's a test. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if I want to, like, I'm not fearful of the business. Like the business doesn't physically need me to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know that I want to.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was another lesson you got this year?
I think from the business side of things, we covered a lot. Family wise, like I said, I want to do more vacations. Faith wise, it's been interesting because we run a nonprofit with Tent Makers, and I know you've done a lot on the faith side too.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is now we just finished our second full year as a, actual nonprofit and everything. And so, with the nonprofit, we, got over 100+ Bible studies going. We did, at least 8 or 9 events, between the summit, the workshops, mission trips, kingdom nights. We raised more money than ever before. It was just a great year in ministry, but I will say it's now kind of made me look at the entire Christian world from a ministry organization point of view. And so I think now, I don't know that it's a mistake. It's just a realization of how the world of Christianity works from the institutional point of view. Because most Christian context? Well, so I guess I understand now how a church functions with giving and salaries and staff and how they use a tithe. I understand how we function with how we do it and everything else. And I think it's made me more cynical. And I'm wrestling through what I think about that.
Interesting.
Because I'm not here to say we're better or worse or whatever else. But now looking at it, running a ministry, I'm organizationally and operationally, when I see, not doing what we could be doing, I'm like, dude, this is like a waste of resource. We should be switching this. We should be changing that.
Yeah.
Kind of like back to the very first thing we said, low standards.
Yeah.
It's like churches accept low standards all the time with just different things.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm like, man, how much do I speak up on? How much do I do I worry about my thing versus like the overall thing? And I know you've been, interviewing and going to different churches. And so you've like gotten a big perspective of lots of stuff now.
Yeah. Before we get to that, I want to ask more context on this ministry thing. So like for me, for example, we had that event in California.
Yeah, that was in January.
You know what I learned at that event?
What?
I don't want to work at a church. I swear, like literally at that event when I was like helping usher people, I was like organizing things. I was like, honestly, I personally don't want to go to church and see it as like a job.
Yeah.
I want to leave the church sacred. And I'm going there to worship and experience God and all that stuff. I don't want to be like helping pick up trash and
maybe that's where now I'm starting to see it.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I think might be happening, where you're starting to see the business side and it might taint the way you see church.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What do you think?
I don't think it's tainting it. It's just giving me the full perspective.
Yeah.
Of it.
And sometimes you don't want the full perspective. Like sometimes you don't want to see how sausage is made, right? Sometimes you don't want to see how sausage is made. Sometimes you just want to eat a hot dog. You know what I'm saying?
Well, no.
Think about it.
I don't want a hot dog.
Yeah. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, I think that's what I learned going to that place, because even like, I'm just being a little weird. Like even when people ask me to pray for them sometimes, and I'm like, what you're asking me to pray for is not the way that I think you should be praying. We could talk about this when we get to the Catholic stuff, but like let's just say they're like, hey, can you help me get a raise? Pray for me to get a raise at my job. Sometimes I think people use God as like a genie, and they're just like, hey, like I want this thing. And usually I just pray. They'll ask me for stuff, and then I'll just pray for something else. Yeah. I'm like, Lord, help this person open their eyes to see that going from $50,000 to $55,000 is not going to make a difference. Yeah. But yeah, like, and then you get people who are like, oh, I've been unemployed for 10 years. Help me get a job. And I'm like, I do want God to bless you with a job, but like, there might be another issue.
Yeah.
That you need to, or like you want to get over the person that you broke up with 5 years ago. Like, yes, like I will pray for you. But after seeing all that, I was like, you know what? I want to help and serve. I will do that, but I don't want to work at a church ever.
Yeah.
That's what I learned.
Yeah. It's funny because, we live in a world of high level entrepreneurship and investors and people who want to make their lives better. And, they've invested money and time into like searching for solutions.
Yes.
A lot of people you see in church, to your point, haven't searched for a solution. They don't. It's all just like, I mean, to your point, God's a genie.
Yeah.
Like he's the only one who can fix my situation.
Yeah.
It's like God's not the only one who can get you a job.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, how many jobs have you applied at this week?
Yeah.
None? Okay. Like I do believe God could give you a job.
Yeah.
But maybe you need to apply to 100 places.
Yeah. I believe God's telling me to tell you.
But that's what I learned. And then I guess to go back to the ministry thing, like what other thoughts have you had about that?
It's kind of made me realize that what we're doing is a lot bigger than I think.
Oh yeah.
And it's growing very, very fast.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to see, like I said, the Christian world from all perspectives, because it's weird because I know a lot of the top pastors in the world. I also know a lot of the top Christian influencers in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I know the top Christian business guys in the world. And so it's like, I'm now seeing the world from all these different viewpoints. And I'm also, meeting all these guys in different denominations too, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about Voice and Catholics, and, then we're meeting Zoomer and these mainline Protestants. And then we've got the non-denominational guys.
Yeah.
And so I guess like I'm taking in so much data and information from everything that I'm now trying to spiritually discern what is correct.
Yeah.
Because I used to, I grew up in the church my whole life, and I've just always believed what I'm told.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about theological salvation beliefs. I'm talking about...
Guy's about to turn into Joseph Smith.
Yeah. So I've got this idea. I found these tablets. Okay.
But yeah, you're not talking about theology.
Yeah. Don't get me started on that. Got me thinking about like a random theological thing. Yeah. I was like, if they believe that God used to be a man who became God, and you could become a God as long as you do all the right things. It's like, so like, how many gods are there?
A lot. Yeah.
In their mind.
Yeah.
There's, I don't know how many gods there are, but it's like, but who was the first?
Yeah.
Like, there's still like this question of somebody was the original.
Yeah.
The whole thing. Like, so like I've pondered these questions, and then, I come to conclusions. I come to conclusions like that where I'm like, okay, this is clearly not true.
Yeah.
But then there's a lot of things I'm pondering, especially as, we learn more about Catholics, and like a lot of the problems I have in non-denominational churches, which I attend, Catholics actually solve. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. But then you hear about other things Catholics do, and you're like, yeah, I see why there was the Reformation because of these issues.
Yeah.
And so I'm like trying to objectively and spiritually balance it out and understand everyone's points of views.
Yeah. Another fascinating thing to think about for me in faith is, how old is the United States?
200 some years old.
250 years old.
Yeah.
That's not very old.
Yeah.
Think about our churches right now and how long have these...
2,000 years.
Exactly. So you start to be like, dang, like the church that we go to is 7 years old.
Yeah.
Right? There's churches that are, like you said, 2,000 years old. They've pondered all these things and came to conclusions on a lot of things. And they just have a 2,000 year head start where non-denominational Christian churches sometimes are they're trying to figure things out that they already exist. But I don't want to talk about Catholicism yet, but yeah, with just ministry in general, I'm interested to see what's going to happen with you in 2026. Like, where does it all
what do you think
lead to? I don't know. I think it could go two ways. One, maybe you end up starting a church, or two, maybe you end up submitting rather to our church more or a church more. That's what I think.
What was the boat? You just said two different things.
One of them is starting a church.
Yeah.
The other one is submitting to a church more. Rather like our church or a big denominational church. That's what I think. Because knowing you might do like the starting thing because you like to launch things. But I think if we talk about Catholicism, right? For people that don't know, I've been studying Catholicism in...
You get the fastest growing
Christian
I'm the
YouTube fastest growing Catholic, non-Catholic hosted channel ever. But what I'm learning besides theology is like culture, right? The churches that we go to, they didn't exist before.
No.
These are all new things. America is so new that even I didn't realize it until New Year's when it's like, happy birthday, America. It's 250 years. I'm like, dang, like America's only 250 years. That's like 3 lifetimes, Yeah. Like the Coptic Orthodox Church has been the same for 2,010 years. So it's like, okay, should we pay attention to that?
Yeah. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I don't disagree at all.
Yeah. And then like the Reformation, right? What actually caused the Reformation, and what did the reformers actually believe? Like, have you ever read Martin Luther?
Some parts.
Yeah. Like, would you say, I don't know if we want to talk about it, but would you say that Mary is the mother of God?
The mother of Jesus?
No. Do you believe Mary is the mother of God?
Not God the Father.
Yeah, but do you disagree with the statement, Mary is the mother of God?
I don't disagree.
Okay.
Depending on the context.
Well, there's a lot of people that disagree with that statement.
Okay.
And like Martin Luther and all these guys had high Mariology. Long story short, very high Mariology. So just like learning about...
What did they believe?
They believe that she was sinless and she ascended to heaven and all these things. So like high Mariology is like, you can pray for intercession from Mary and all these things.
Yeah.
But just learning about these things, because then you're just like, hey, like kind of like the sausage was made thing. Like, what did the original people believe and how did we get here?
Mm-hmm.
And like, not like what we think, because there's a lot of misconceptions on like, oh, the reformers thought this, and they took out these 7 books in the Bible. Like a lot of reasons why the 7 books were taken out is because to make it cheaper to print Bibles. Like there's a lot of different things where you're like, okay, like, is this true? Is this not true? What am I being fed? Like, what is a lukewarm Christian? How does salvation actually work? And then just churches, like we'll say the Catholic and Orthodox Church, they don't push tithing as much as like non-denominational churches do. Why? Mm-hmm. Because they're funded. Their buildings are paid off. There is no building project. So it's like, okay, like just a lot of different things that I'm like working through.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I mean, we're both in the same conclusion on that boat. The counter argument that I think about too is just like the evolution of the body of Christ, because historically it has always changed, you know, all the way from the Old Testament to the New Testament to today.
Yeah.
And,
the Vatican I, Vatican II.
Yeah. Like the kingdom, like, you know, the kingdom itself is a spiritual kingdom. It's not a Catholic or Orthodox institution or non-denominational thing.
Yeah.
Those buildings themselves are not the thing.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
So we're all part of a spiritual kingdom that is advancing until Jesus returns.
Yeah.
That pretty much everyone can agree on.
Yes.
And so it's like, okay, so as it spiritually advances, what do we take spiritually that manifests here on earth? Mm-hmm. So how does it express itself here on earth? And does it express itself through new denominations and buildings and everything else?
Yeah.
It clearly has to this point.
Yeah.
Like that's where we're at.
Yeah.
So I don't, you know, and I'm not saying it's right, but that's just what it is at this point. And so unless you're like a Catholic who doesn't believe that any of the Protestants are saved, then you just have to accept that this is what has happened.
Yeah.
And how it has evolved.
Yeah. I think there's different topic, but there's 2 mindsets. There's one that theology gets better, and then another mindset where theology gets worse. Mm-hmm. So the theology gets worse are the Orthodox and Catholics are like, this is what the original Christians believed. Mm-hmm. We need to believe this. And then there's the other side where it's like, hey, as when we were all able to read the Bible, then we started getting interpretations where it's like, hey, where did this Mary thing come from?
Yeah.
It's not in the Bible, you know. So it's
tradition.
Yeah. I'm like in the middle because
well, it's the same thing as we would call this in end times eschatology. You know, like a premillennialist would believe that things are getting worse.
Yes.
Right? A postmillennialist would believe things are getting better.
Yeah.
I would objectively argue that things are not getting worse, but getting better.
Yeah.
Like you cannot objectively, like as much as people are like, the world is getting so, it's like, no, it's not.
But let's relate this to the kingdom of God though.
But let me just so everyone listens, like the world is objectively way better.
Yeah.
Than 1,000 years ago. Okay.
Yes.
We have medicine.
Yeah.
we have phones. We can eat. No one's starving.
Yeah.
You know, like the world is objectively better.
Yes.
In all aspects of like living conditions.
Yeah.
Right. And we see all the problems of the world, but I just think because the world is more visible, I think the problems were always what they are.
Yeah. But if you were to relate this to the kingdom theology, right? The argument for it's getting worse is it's getting more fragmented.
Yeah.
And there's more room for heresy. So then you could get the Joseph Smiths, the 7-day whatever, the prosperity gospel can go up there and say whatever he wants because there's no authority.
Yeah, so, but that always happened even back then.
It did, but they wouldn't start their own church.
But they had their own movements all the time.
They did have their own movements, yes.
It's the same thing. That always existed.
It is, but the argument is
punch that guy.
Yeah.
He punched Arius, dude, or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
I learned that. If any of you guys didn't know, the guy Santa Claus is based on literally got so pissed at this guy.
Yeah, for heresy.
That he punched him.
Yeah, but
because that guy was growing a big movement.
Yeah. Yeah, but the point is, there's two thoughts on it, and I'm in the middle because sometimes I do see where it's like, hey, anyone can call themselves a Christian, but they could say whatever they could think Jesus Christ is whatever they say it is, and that's a problem,
right?
And that's why.
But that always happened. That's my point.
That's always happening. That's always happening.
It literally happened
getting
with
worse.
Paul. I don't think it's getting worse. Like I think Paul was literally like, dude, there are people saying all these things right now. He's saying this decades later, but everybody was already twisting everything Jesus said within decades.
Yeah.
So like to me, and it's just like, it's a population thing. There's just significantly more people on the earth than there was back then. And information travels so much faster. You know, things can spread way faster than ever before. So like, I think it's just back to the same thing. Like, I don't think sin has gotten worse. Sin is just shown. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess, I don't know how much we want to keep talking about this, but like something that I've always wrestled with, and that's kind of like what I've dug into, what made me dig into like Orthodox and Catholicism is like, you know, the Bible verse that says like the road is narrow.
Yeah.
Right. So like, why is the road narrow? Like, why isn't the road wide? Why is it like this guessing game of like, is it this? Is it that? Is it this? Is it that? Like, that's something that I struggled with. And that's what worries me. It's like, if the road is narrow, how do I know I'm on the right road?
Mm-hmm.
Am I just having faith that my pastor on stage is telling me the right things?
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think, no, you should not put your faith in your pastor.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah. But most people get their theology from their pastor.
That's stupid on them.
Yeah.
They should be studying their Bible.
But then on the Catholic side, they would say, that's the problem. You're studying the Bible and you're coming to your own conclusions. So like authority is their whole, the Catholicism and Orthodox argument ultimately comes down to apostolic succession. That is the main thing. But I guess like, why do you think the road is narrow? If God loves us so much, like, hopefully this is not wrong to say, God loves us. Why is the road narrow? This went somewhere else, but have you thought about that, Justin? That's it's like, if God loves us so much, what if you told your 4 kids, hey, the road's narrow, only a few are going to make it?
Well, I think John 14:6, Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me.
Yes.
It's part of the road being narrow. No one comes to the Father except through me.
Yeah.
So he's like just drawing a line. He's like, there's one path. It's to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very narrow road. There's Jesus, and then there's nothing.
Okay, maybe I'm misunderstanding the scripture then.
Well, I mean, it's just like, he's like, this is the path. There's one. You just follow Jesus or you don't.
Okay, so I'm misunderstanding it. So I'm not saying, so then I'm misunderstanding that most believers aren't going to make it.
Well, there's other verses like Matthew 7:21 through 23 that are more scary in my opinion. So in that verse, he talks about how many are going to say, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name? Did we not drive out demons in your name? Did we not perform miracles in your name? And Jesus is like, I never knew you.
Yeah.
Away from me, you evildoers.
Yeah.
That scares me more.
Yeah.
Because those people are like, we're doing like literal miracles in Jesus' name.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know you.
Mm-hmm.
That to me is far scarier.
Yeah. Both of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. But that's what made me go into these other denominations to be like, hey, like, am I in the wrong denomination? And I literally just don't know.
I mean, look, my opinion could change as I learn more and stuff too. But as it stands right this second, I think the road being narrow is just, there's lots of other roads that the world will tell you.
Mm.
And Jesus is like, no, it's just me. There's only one way to the Father. It's through me. It's not universalism. It's not, Buddhism. It's not Islam. It's not any of these things. It's just through me. It's very simple.
Got it. Okay.
And that would create a very narrow world or road.
Yeah.
In a world full of many roads.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that was good. But the other one, like you said, the Lord.
That thing, one's scarier.
I always honestly, I always think about Pentecostals when I hear that verse, because I'm like, they're always like doing signs and wonders. That's their whole thing. And then I'm like,
So you want to know what made me think of this and like kind of what helped me understand it? So I was golfing with a guy, and he was a part of a massive Pentecostal church. And, they basically, he's like, dude, I saw so many signs and wonders, crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But then I saw, the head pastor sleeping around, doing all this crazy stuff. And like,
oh, dang,
both coexisted.
Yeah.
At the same time. Like the signs and miracles were undeniable.
Yeah.
But the fruit was terrible.
Yeah.
And, what made me think of that was I was like, so how did he perform? Like, how could somebody do true signs and wonders without the power of the Holy Spirit?
Yeah.
And I was like, was he powered by demons? How could this be?
Yeah.
And my conclusion from talking to him, and he brought it up, he goes, you look throughout the Bible, God used very flawed people for his causes and for his good. And that does not mean they were saved either. He just used them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah, he did use a lot of jacked up people to help the overall body. Or like, for example, right? Somebody's sick and suffering and they get healed. Praise God, right?
Mm-hmm.
That has everything to do with the person being healed, not the healer.
Mm-hmm.
So even if he has to use an imperfect vessel to get the job done, it was never about the vessel. It was about the person being healed.
Yeah.
And then it kind of clicked for me. I was like, yeah, he could use somebody who is not a true believer and empower them with gifts and talents and everything else to go do good things, but they're not ever saved.
Yeah. I don't know if I should say it, but it kind of reminds me of like the Mormons. Because if you think about like what Brigham Young, like, no offense to the Mormons, but like Brigham Young has photos with him and like 30 wives and their children and stuff like that. And it's like,
yeah,
they're preaching the name of Jesus.
Right. So much so they decided we don't want to be called Mormons. We want to be the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Yeah.
Every time I hear that, I'm like, it does. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
It's cool. You put it in your title.
Yeah.
I could call any business I have the house flipping business of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean crap.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, just because his name's in your name doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
So we'll find out. We will find out.
Any other lessons from this year?
I think one of my lessons probably in 26 is going to be, as we continue on this show of talking about controversial things.
Yeah.
It's going to be like, we probably shouldn't have said that. Previewing a prophetic 2027 lesson. Yeah, we were a bit harsh on that.
No, I mean, I love
the Mormons.
Yeah. I mean, I love the Mormons and I love the Catholics. I haven't drawn a conclusion yet. I guess, I don't know if we're going to do any more lessons.
I've drawn a conclusion, but yeah.
Yeah, I didn't, but that's on you. But another conclusion that I got on social media this year, if we're going to talk about lessons or whatever, is strategy trumps everything.
Yeah.
You could have low quality, you could have low volume, but if you have the right strategy, you're going to succeed. So for people that don't know, again, like my Christian page is getting like 200,000 views on videos, right? On long forms, some of them like 2 hour, like almost 2 hour long videos. And I'm like, dude, how the heck would I do that if I'm making real estate wholesale content? Like it's just not going to happen. Yeah. So strategy trumps everything. That's, I think.
Yeah. And I mean, for those of you who are still here, shout out to you. Make sure you subscribe. But yeah, as we talked about strategy going into this year, one thing that we said was, you know what? From two standpoints. One is, I'm just tired of interviewing guests and whatever. Like I'll interview like top people, but no longer average people. Just the same thing, raising your standards, right?
Exactly.
Like I'm raising my standards on guest.
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to get any kind of guest that I think might even be low performing.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. But the second thing is like, for us, we can talk about all these topics that we want to talk about anyways.
Yeah.
It's very easy and enjoyable.
Yeah.
And we can be strategic about what we want to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it will do good.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess last lesson, and before we're going to wrap up, is like, I was watching Alex Hermosi's yearly review. And one of the things that he talked about is knowing when enough is enough. And he talked about, he got to 250 pounds bodybuilder. And he was like, dude, you know what? Like, this is enough. This is too much. He went back down to 220. Have you figured out, I guess, in your life, when's enough?
No, I have no idea.
You're like the opposite, where you're just like, keep swinging.
I mean, I told G this before, but this goes into our Christian talk. Retirement is not biblical. It is nowhere in the Bible that you stop working and just chill.
Yeah.
That's not biblical. I think the question of enough is enough usually comes down to selfishness because you're like, dude, I've made enough. I'm good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you are good. But what about everyone else?
Because
it's not even about you. Right? Like, as far as money goes, tent makers, the ministry needs a lot of money. These missionaries need a lot of money. These churches need a lot of money. They all need money to go do. The kingdom needs money to go out and do the different initiatives that it's going to do. And if God gave me the talent, the ability, the work ethic, and everything to go and make money, it is my obligation to go and make money. That is part of being a steward, right? What happened to the guy who was lazy and hid his talent? Not only did he get his talent taken away from him, he actually went to hell. That's what the parable of the talents is about. He's like, you are a wicked servant. Get out of here. And he cast him out. And I just think that it's a form of disobedience when you just start thinking about your number. Because now it's just back to you and what you need.
Yeah.
And so, no, I don't have a number. Now, that being said, does that mean I'm just always going to work and worry about making and optimizing money? And no. I will always make money the rest of my life, regardless. Even if I take a more passive role as a business owner, clearly the businesses are still going to make money. I'll never not have a business. I'll be in a business of something. If I make so much wealth, I'll be investing, and that's my business. The family office is the business. Like, there's always going to be wealth management if you've made a lot of, like, either way, you have to worry about money, no matter what. You're either working, actively earning it. You've either made it already, and now you're investing it.
Yeah.
Right. Trying to make the most of it. But I mean, I look at that with influence. I look at it with this show. I look at it with my family and my employees and the students and everything. Like, it all matters. It's not even about me. It has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, when I hear that, like, bro, I'm just like, I'm out. I'm just riding off to the sunset. I'm like, yeah, you're selfish.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't have to be retirement. It could just be like, hey, this is good. The upside is not worth me putting in more.
Right. But it's just, you change what you're going to work on.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you have to do the same thing you're doing today.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you are being disobedient because you stopped flipping houses or you stopped making content. At that point, once, now this is a spiritual thing. So, it's different for us versus Alex or whoever, right?
Yeah.
But as a spiritual side of things, if God's like, hey, I want you to just go full-time in ministry, let's just say, right? It's like, all right, well, that's the next work.
Yeah.
Ministry is work. So let's do that. Hey, I want you to, I don't know, go coach your kids and all this stuff. It's like, well, that doesn't take up all my time coaching my kids, So like, I'm going to still do something else. But like, hey, okay, your kids and everything else are your main priority. All right, great. This is my little side hustle now. So I think it's just like your priority shifts of what your focus is on.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, make sure you're subscribed. You want to see more of episodes like these, just subscribe. Peace.